Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather today. I'm meteorologist Al Peterlin. I'd like to talk about the weather health stresses for April 8th, 2026. We do keep additional graphics available at tpatw.com. We also maintain a patient weather storefront on Amazon. Amazon purchases made through our patient weather storefront support the activities of patient weather. Looking at the surface map for Wednesday, we can see we have high pressure dominating much of the eastern seaboard, but there is that front hanging about Florida, keeping unsettled weather there and along the Gulf. A major low pressure center hanging over northern Wisconsin, cold front hanging all the way south through Iowa, down into Nebraska and back up through Wyoming and to Montana. Lots of unsettled weather with that front, especially along the warm front, which stretches south to Indianapolis. Looking at our vitality index, a measure of all of those different elements that might cause some kind of weather health index, and we have something going on here in the northern plains, eastern Montana, western Dakotas, little bit of unsettled weather here in New Mexico and West Texas. Lots of activity going on about the Great Lakes, and still a little bit of remnant of difficulties here along the eastern seaboard, but hanging tight in New England. Looking at the changes in pressure, we have rising pressure here in eastern Montana and the western Dakotas. We have rising pressure all the way from central Florida, across Georgia, up the Carolinas, all the way into Maryland, Delaware, Connecticut, Massachusetts, and across all the way into Maine. Note the falling pressure area from eastern Minnesota, eastern Iowa, across northern Illinois, Indiana, and all of Michigan and Wisconsin. Looking at the change in temperatures, and this is spring, so we're bouncing those temperatures around. We do have some cold air still trying to come into eastern Montana and the western Dakotas, but note the warm temperatures pushing across New Mexico and the Texas panhandle, and then all the way up into the middle Mississippi Valley and the Great Lakes and Ohio Valley, extending all the way along the Canadian border, all the way and taking in the cities from Windsor all the way up to Quebec. Looking at the change in dew point, and it's very much the same issue. As we move to the oxygen availability in the atmosphere, you can see that we're having a risk of migraine from eastern Montana and across those western Dakotas, but stretching down to the panhandle of Nebraska. We have another migraine risk area from Alabama through Georgia and the Carolinas, just a touch here in Florida, and then picking up significant risk of migraine from Delaware, New Jersey, across Massachusetts and up into most of New England. Looks like leaving Vermont out of the picture. However, we also have a risk of asthma and arthritis from western Texas all the way across the middle Mississippi Valley and becoming very significant through Iowa, northern Illinois, Minnesota, Wisconsin, and Michigan, but hanging tight all the way along the Canadian border, reaching all the way up into extreme northern Maine and taking in all of the Canadian cities from Windsor to Quebec. Thanks for visiting the patient and the weather. Your comments are appreciated, and if you hurt, tell us where you're located.